It's the OCGFAM show. Can you just water only on some days and then feed on others with Nectar for the Gods? Let's talk about it. Hey there, Bob from Oregon's Constant Gardener. Welcome to the OCGFAM show to you, my YouTube buddies. What's going on? Let me know down in the comments and we'll talk about it after the show. But right now, let's just get into the show. Water only. You know, we talk a lot about feed, tea, feed, flush, and how, that's a way to go. But there's different strokes for different folks. Some people feed once a week, do waterings. There's lots of ways to do it. And we've talked about it before about those things. But we had a clip from the last viewer question so that I thought was pretty thoughtful and interesting about why you want to feed every time and not have water only days. And I thought it might be interesting. So I want you to watch the clip and I'll talk to you after. Cry havoc. Trickster guy, I guess. All right. In regards to feed, tea, feed, flush, what would you recommend as a basic timeline to do this? I realize that every grower and every grow is different, but just looking at a rough average, I typically feed once a week and inoculate with bacteria later the same week. I'm trying to dial in my nutrient line and I'm about to run some Nectar products in my lineup. So, if you're just running some Nectar products in your lineup, just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, do what you do and add our stuff and see if you like the difference.
But if you're going to do just Nectar stuff, you can kind of decide for yourself.
Well, and feed, flush is just what a giant chunk of our growers do. And then there's this whole other chunk that's like, I feed, I water, water, or I feed and I do a dry minute.
Well, and wouldn't you say this is more of a situation when you're doing one every day or every other day kind of situation, whereas if you were doing every week or something with your feedings, that you might tea more often?
Well, yeah, I mean, that means you're in giant pots of soil. You're overwatering at the get-go, so you can't water enough. I mean, I still try to get at least if I'm not giving them 3 hydrations a week, then I feel like I've overwatered.
Well, but I think some people may be doing a feed once a week and they're doing just water a couple times a week or something.
Yeah, I go back to the human body. Yeah. I don't eat breakfast on Monday and then eat dinner on Thursday because there's a big chunk of time in between that I still need to build cells, I need to grow, I need to be healthy.
Sure. So
I never actually give them water. Ever. It's always bone meal or Demeters or some form of calcium always goes in the water.
This isn't a house plant where you're growing something here. You want to get a product out.
And even a tomato, I want produce.
Sure,
I want to be done. I want volume. I want yield. So if you put in, better chance you're getting out. If you don't put in, you're not going to get out. So with that, what I tell people on that level is give them less volume more frequently. If you can only water them twice a week because that's how your watering style is, bring back your volume. Instead of giving them 3 gallons to a 5-gallon pot, give them a gallon. See how many more times you can get in. If you can teach this plant to develop roots over vegetation, you can water and feed them far more frequently and far more volume down the road if you condition them to take that. But if you start out of the gate, first 3 weeks of veg, you're hammering them with 3 gallons of water in a 5-gallon pot, they get lazy and they just stop drinking, so then it becomes less and less likely that you can feed them more often. So learn to feed a less volume as you're transitioning, less more frequently versus more less frequently. Now, if you just want to not grow, just I want to make this super easy, then it's overwater them at the get-go. They only need watering once a week, but your yield's going to suffer, your quality will suffer, your terpene profiles. I mean, all the things that make us unique are because we're dialing in these feeds. And if you can't dial in the feeds because you can feed them 16 times in a cycle, because you have 10 weeks of flower and 6 weeks of veg, that's not enough food. I mean, it's not enough food to do, oh my gosh, look what I grew. Yeah. It'll grow something, it'll finish something, but it's going to be, that's great.
Okay. Good answer. Okay, what do you think of that? Agree, disagree, agree to disagree? Let me know about your watering habits, watering scenarios in the comments, and we'll talk about that and what you thought about what we said today. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. The OCGFAM show, it's pretty good, it happens every day. It's the OCGFAM show. See you tomorrow.